I still remember the way the afternoon sun spilled through the kitchen window that day, painting everything in this warm golden glow, like the world was holding its breath for something beautiful. My daughter Lily was bouncing on her toes beside me, clutching the little gift box she'd wrapped herself. Red ribbon a bit crooked, but perfect because her tiny fingers had tied it. She was 7, all freckles and hope, and she'd spent her entire allowance, $3.47, on something for her Uncle Jake. My younger brother. The one person I thought would always protect her heart the way I did. "Mommy, do you think he'll like it?" she whispered, her voice trembling with that pure kind of excitement only kids have before the world teaches them to guard it. I knelt down, smoothed her curls, and smiled. "Sweetheart, he's going to love it. Because it's from you." Jake had always been the fun uncle. The one who'd swing her high at the park, sneak her extra cookies, call her Captain Lily, and pretend her stuffed bear was his co-pilot. He'd been crashing at our place for weeks, lost his job again, needed a reset, he said. I didn't mind. He was family. Blood. The little brother I'd bandaged up when he fell off his bike, defended when Mom favored me, held when Dad walked out. I owed him. We all did. So when Lily begged to give him her surprise early, I said yes. We tiptoed to the living room where he was sprawled on the couch, phone in hand, scrolling like the world didn't exist beyond the screen. "Uncle Jake," Lily sang, holding the box out like an offering. "I got you something special." He barely looked up, just reached out with one hand, took the box and shook it near his ear like it was a Christmas toy from a distant cousin he didn't like. The ribbon snagged on his watch. He didn't notice. Lily's smile flickered, but she held on. Jake finally sat up, ripped the paper in one tear. Inside was a keychain, a little silver airplane, because she knew he used to dream of being a pilot before life clipped his wings. It wasn't expensive. It wasn't fancy, but it was her. He turned it over in his palm. Once, twice. Then he laughed. Not the warm kind, the sharp, cutting kind that slices straight through a child's chest. "Cheap, worthless trash," he said, loud enough for the walls to hear. "What is this, Lily? Did you find this in a cereal box?" The room went silent. My daughter's face, God, I'll never forget it, crumpled like paper in a fist. Her shoulders folded inward. The light in her eyes just went out. I froze. My voice stuck somewhere between shock and rage. Jake tossed the keychain onto the coffee table. It clinked, rolled, stopped. "Seriously, don't waste my time with junk," he muttered, already back on his phone. Lily looked at me. Not with tears yet, just confusion. Like she was waiting for me to fix it. To tell her it was a joke. That Uncle Jake didn't mean it. But I couldn't speak. All I could see was that tiny airplane lying there, discarded. All I could feel was the storm building inside me, slow at first, then roaring. Because that wasn't just a gift. That was her heart. Her trust. Her love. And he'd crushed it without a second thought. I picked her up, carried her to her room, closed the door softly. She didn't cry until we were alone. Then the sobs came, deep, wrenching, the kind that shake a mother to her core. I held her, rocked her, promised her the world would be kind again. But inside something broke. Not just for her, for me too. Because I'd let this happen. I'd invited the wolf in. I'd taught her that family was safe. And now she'd learned the opposite. That night, after she finally fell asleep clutching that stupid keychain, I'd fished it out of the trash when he wasn't looking. I sat in the dark and made a decision. This wasn't over. Jake thought he could hurt my baby and walk away untouched? No. I was done protecting him. Done making excuses. Done carrying the weight of his failures while he chipped away at the people I loved most. He wanted to call something worthless? Fine. I'd show him what worthless really looked like. But what I didn't know that day was how deep his betrayal actually went. How far back it stretched. And how one little keychain would unlock a truth that would shatter everything we thought we knew about family. The days after were quiet. Too quiet. Like the calm before a storm you can feel in your bones. Lily stopped talking about Uncle Jake. Stopped drawing airplanes. Stopped leaving her door open. She'd hug me tighter at night, whisper, "Is he still mad at me?" And every time my heart cracked a little more. I tried to act normal. Made his coffee. Washed his clothes. Smiled when he grumbled about job applications. But inside I was cataloging. Watching. waiting. Because something had shifted in him long before that day. I just hadn't wanted to see it. Jake had always been reckless. Charming when he needed something, cold when he didn't. But this was different. This was cruelty wearing the mask of indifference. And I needed to understand why. So I started paying attention. I noticed how he'd disappear for hours, come back smelling like bars and secrets. How he'd flinch when his phone buzzed. How he'd count the cash in my purse when he thought I wasn't looking. One night I couldn't sleep. Lily was having nightmares, waking up crying, calling for the uncle who'd broken her. I went to the kitchen for water and heard him on the phone in the garage. Voice low. Angry. I told you I'm close. Just need a little more time. She trusts me. They both do. My blood turned to ice. I pressed my ear to the door. No, the kid's not a problem. She's just collateral. The sister's the one with the money. Once I get the rest, I'm out. Money? What money? I backed away, heart pounding. Slipped into Lily's room and locked the door behind me. Sat on the floor with my back against her bed, listening to her breathe. He wasn't just cruel. He was calculating. The next morning I did something I'd never done before. I went through his things. Under his mattress, a burner phone, a folder of documents, bank statements not his, mine, copies of my accounts, my savings, the college fund I'd been building for Lily since the day she was born. And then I found the emails, printed, hidden in a shoebox. He'd been talking to someone, a woman named C, saying he was this close to getting full access, that I was distracted and desperate to keep the peace. That Lily was the perfect leverage. Leverage? My daughter. He wasn't just mooching off me. He was planning to drain me dry, to use my little girl as a pawn to keep me compliant. And the gift? That cruel moment? It wasn't random. It was a test, to see how much he could push, how much I'd let him get away with. I sat on the floor of his room, papers trembling in my hands, and something inside me snapped, not with rage but with clarity. Cold, sharp, final. He thought he knew me, thought I was the same big sister who'd always cleaned up his messes. But he'd forgotten one thing. I wasn't just a sister anymore. I was a mother. And mothers? We don't break. We build traps. I put everything back exactly as I found it, wiped my prints, smiled at him over breakfast like nothing had changed. But everything had. That night I started planning. Quietly. Carefully. Like threading a needle in the dark. I opened a new account. Transferred what I could. Froze the rest. Changed passwords. Set up alerts. I installed a nanny cam in the hallway. One in the living room. Told him they were for security, after a break-in down the street. He bought it. Of course he did. He always thought he was the smartest one in the room. Then I waited. For the perfect moment. For him to make his move. Because revenge isn't loud. It isn't screaming or slapping or storming out. It's patient. It's precise. It's the moment they think they've won. And realize the ground beneath them was never theirs to stand on. Until everything changed. When I got the call that would expose him completely. It was a Tuesday. Rain tapping against the windows like it knew what was coming. Jake had been extra sweet all week. Helping with dishes. Playing with Lily. Just enough to ease my suspicion, not enough to mean it. I let him think it was working. Then my phone rang. Unknown number. Hello. Ms. Harper? This is Detective Ruiz. We need to speak with you and your brother. Immediately. My stomach dropped. But not from fear, from timing. Jake was in the shower. I answered calmly. Of course. What's this about? We've been investigating a series of identity thefts. Your name came up. Along with a Mr. Jacob Harper. We have reason to believe he's been attempting to access your accounts. I closed my eyes. Let out a slow breath. I'll be there. With him. I hung up. Walked to the bathroom door. Knocked. Jake? Police are coming. They want to talk to us. The water shut off. Silence. Then? What? Why? I didn't answer. Just waited. He came out wrapped in a towel, face pale. Sis, what's going on? I looked at him, really looked. The boy I'd once loved was gone. Replaced by a stranger who'd sold his soul for a quick score. They know, I said simply. His eyes darted. Know what? Everything. That's when the doorbell rang. 2 officers. Polite. Professional. Jacob Harper? We need you to come with us. He tried to play innocent. There's been a mistake. But I stepped forward. Handed them the folder. The one I'd copied. The one with every email, every transfer attempt, every message to see. Who, it turned out, was his girlfriend, waiting in another state with a U-Haul and a plan. The officers read. Nodded. Cuffed him. Lily watched from the hallway, clutching her bear. I knelt beside her. It's okay, baby. He's going somewhere he can't hurt us anymore. Jake looked at me as they let him out. You set me up. No, I said. You set yourself up. The moment you called her gift trash. The moment you thought her love, and mine, was something you could throw away. They put him in the car. Closed the door. And just like that he was gone. The fallout was swift. Charges filed. Accounts frozen. His girlfriend ghosted him the second she realized the money was gone. I got a restraining order. Changed the locks. Painted his room lavender, Lily's favorite. And one day months later I found the keychain. Cleaned. Polished. Hanging on her backpack. She saw me notice. Smiled. I fixed it, Mommy. It wasn't trash. It just needed someone who cared. I pulled her close. Exactly, sweetheart. Some things some people are worth saving. Others aren't. Jake writes letters now. From jail. Apologies. Promises. Begs for forgiveness. I don't write back. Because some wounds don't need closure from the person who caused them. They need protection. Boundaries. Truth. And sometimes, the greatest revenge isn't destruction. It's survival. It's teaching your daughter that her heart is priceless. That no one, gets to dim her light and walk away untouched. I look at Lily now laughing, drawing, dreaming again, and I know we won. Not because he lost, but because we refused to. And if you're watching this carrying your own hurt, your own betrayal, know this. You are not weak for loving hard. You are not foolish for trusting. You are powerful when you choose who stays in your life. And sometimes the bravest thing you can do is close the door.